understand the business plan really well, understand how the people element fits into the business plan, and then present your suggestions to individual people. Don't try and do it as a collective. Pick people off, get some allies to, take them through it, get some feedback, get some brutal feedback if you need to so that you can amend it. But you're getting their buy-in in the process if they're doing that. And then when you sit around the table, and you might not have had a chance to speak to all of the executive team or all the senior manager team or whoever you're presenting to, but you've got some allies on the table, so that when you're talking about something, they can say, oh yeah, Natasha and I have spoken about that, and we agreed that this was probably a good way of doing it. And don't be really precious about it being your idea. If one of the ways that you're going to get things to come through is by them thinking it's their idea, I don't care, as long as I get the end, what my end goal is, and be prepared to be flexible in your approach. My approach tends to be very collaborative, so I've just described a way that I might collaborate.
I know my industry inside out. I know the challenges it has. I know the financial position it's in. I know everything about the workforce. I know how to apply everything I do in a business context, but using the lens of the workforce. So it's about that. It's not about jumping in and doing, in inverted commas, HR. It's a business role. So it's about your business first and foremost. First and last, it's always about your business. Yeah, knowing that inside out will enable you to make things happen.
In various different ways. I think it's about having a knowledge of the key stakeholders and the engagement that you need to have with them, about understanding them as individuals and how their teams are working, but also what's on their mind. So if I was going to influence somebody, I'd want to understand what their concerns were first, because they're always slightly different. And sometimes it's quite often the result of a one-to-one conversation I've got.
But it's about the relationship that you develop, whether it's with your line manager, with a manager in an organisation, or with the managing director. It's developing that rapport and relationship and credibility. So doing things on time, doing what you've said you'll do, and being able to relate what you're trying to influence them with to the business. There's no point in speaking over to one side about something that doesn't make any sense or correlate with anything to do with the organisation. You've got to talk the business language. And that's when you'll get credibility, and the influencing will be easier.
So I don't talk to the business in any way, shape or form ever about people stuff. I talk to the business about what are our strategic objectives, what we're trying to do, how we're trying to drive things forward. What does that now mean in terms of the services we need to build or deliver to enable all of that to happen?
It's to understand their areas, their issues. That for me is the key thing, so that anything you are proposing, you apply to their situation, so it makes sense to them. So rather than just, oh, we've got a new HR process, here we are, carry on, you work with them, you build it into that area, you make it work for them. And then they work with you.
Building relationship is to build that trust. But you can build trust also if you are able to show credibility. And I do always am a believer that in order to influence people, you also need to understanding and providing the right information, the right level of analysis, and provide the different options. And in many of my experience, obviously I can speak of my current board members, but previous organization, the most important thing is to provide simple solution, because this is what they're looking for, simple solution with a mitigating risk factor. And that will be my role, to be able for them to come to an informed decision.
Be able to have credibility, you need to have and know your area of technical expertise, but also know about the whole scope of roles within the organisation and the activities within the organisation, to bring out the best, to have some really constructive challenge at board level in order to, come to decisions that you might not have come to had you been able to make them on your own.
So it's using data, it's understanding who those key stakeholders are and giving them the information, so I can then, when I do sit in front of them, I can have a very meaningful conversation.
the building of rapport, you know, the empathizing, particularly in my role, but again, I'm doing this with my clients, and part of the ripple effect is role modeling this for them as well. Compassion as well. So it's not just empathy, it's compassion.